On today's episode of the Real Recovery Podcast, episode number 73, your hosts Julie and Peter guide us into the heart of healing and transformation. Together, they share stories that spotlight the bravery and inspiration at the core of recovery. Through honest conversations about resilience, courage, and community, this episode invites listeners, whether on their personal journey or supporting a loved one, to discover hope and practical insights about building a life rooted in well-being and connection. Stay tuned as the journey unfolds.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. I'm Julie, your co-host. On this journey of healing and transformation, together with my co-host Peter, we dive into the heart of recovery, sharing stories that resonate with courage and inspiration.
That's right, Julie. Each episode is a new chapter in this vast narrative of recovery, and we're honored to bring them to you. But keep in mind, the perspectives you'll hear are for informational purposes only and may not reflect the views of the podcast or our partners.
Indeed, while these conversations can be a powerful part of your recovery toolkit, they are not substitute for professional medical advice. We encourage you to seek guidance from your healthcare provider for any treatment-related decisions.
And if you're facing an immediate crisis, or if you just need to talk to someone who understands, don't hesitate to call the Recovery Crisis Line at 503-223-8569. That number is also on our website. Help is available 24/7.
Now let's begin our episode
Of recovery, real recovery.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
This is Peter with the Real Recovery Podcast with my co-host.
This is Julie with the Real Recovery Podcast in Studio H.
Yes, humble abode.
I love it. Have you missed us?
Probably not, because it's just been a week since they heard our voices.
I know.
but really, we have been gone for about 4 months since we last recorded an episode.
A lifetime, actually.
And I think the last one was
Untitled
hiatus, yeah.
Block party next week.
If you've been listening to every show consistently, that's the last one that we did, I guess, semi-live. And then those of you who've also been following these last 6 episodes, it's been a series that we did of our founding voices. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. These are the originals who took a chance on being on the podcast, not knowing where we were going to go or what we were going to do. And we appreciate them so much for
their support.
Yeah, for their support and for sharing their stories, which can be a very scary thing, as I know, because, and I'm sure Julie can attest to this, when we shared our own stories, it was very scary.
It is very scary. Never in my lifetime did I think I would come out to the world with my story.
Yeah.
And take away from my professional corporate side.
Yeah. And if I would have told my story, and before that, I would always edit it because I was like, I'm not going to tell the really bad things. But we wanted this to be a full, open, honest. If we're going to ask our guests to be fully open and honest with their stories, that's what we decided to do. So if you want to go back and listen, it's like episode 2 and 3, I think, are our 2 episodes prior to the founding voices that we just put out in these last 6 weeks. Just to get y'all caught up, why weren't we recording for 4 months? What could it be?
I think it's a lot of things, but I think Peter's story is pretty remarkable. It happened so quick.
Yeah.
One day, we have 6'7" Dante Mathis pulling up in his Maserati.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet car.
And
Sweet ride.
Yeah. And the next week, Peter was starting cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And we knew that. So we booked a whole bunch of shows in advance.
Yeah. The beauty of pre-recording is you can record and schedule. And that's what we did. It was a year ago, April, when I was on a camping trip that I really noticed this. It was like I had a cold and a really sore throat and almost an earache on my left side. And so I just did what you do with colds, vitamin C, gargled, that whole bit. By the time I had my physical in October, it was still bothering me. So I asked my doctor, said, this has still been going on. I don't feel like the cold's going away. And so he put me on antibiotics, thinking, okay, that'll do it. And he felt around. He said, yeah, your left side is a little bit more swollen. That's probably because that's where the virus or whatever it is settled itself. Well, time goes on. And the following year, March, really is when I've been noticing like it had been swollen, but it had been getting more swollen. Now, I was a bit heavy during this time where
You should see Peter now.
you couldn't
He
notice.
looks like a fucking model. Okay, I show up today and yeah.
I lost over 40 pounds, but back when I was 40 pounds heavier, it's harder to notice these things, right? But I was shaving and I was like, it really is swollen. And I got nervous about it. And part of that comes from when I was early in my career, I did visual for Fred Meyer stores. And part of that process, we did a lot of painting, using a lot of floral paints. We used a lot of acetate. We used foam cutters, a lot of these things to build our props. And back then, there was no paint hoods or cost. Nobody was worried about wearing masks or gloves or any of that stuff. So I always had in the back of my head, is this going to affect me when I'm older? Now, by older, I'm thinking 80, 90 years old, right? So when this was developing, I just had this weird thought in my mind, like, this is not good. There's something more to it. And I made a kind of an urgent appointment with my doctor who was off that week. So I was with his partner and he said, yeah, let's do an ultrasound. And for those who don't know, I also worked at Providence in the OR for about 7 years. Part of my job was doing scans for surgeries and prepping patients and prepping scans in the machines that they use in surgeries. So I was familiar with the scanning and what things look like. And as I'm sitting there getting my ultrasound and I'm turned because she has to get to the left side. And so I'm facing the screen and I'm watching her mark off these things. And I just knew, I'm like, that this is not good. There's something going on there. And she couldn't say, I asked her, like, do you know? She's like, I can't comment on anything. You're gonna have to wait for your doctors. Within 24 hours, he was back to me and he said, yeah, it looks, it could be cancerous. It's in your lymph nodes and we need to start this process. And it's quite amazing because I thought I'll just go to a doctor and they'll do whatever. But you actually go to multiple doctors and there's a doctor that actually does scoping down your throat to see what's going on and gets the overall picture. You go to a oral surgeon that checks you out because that's where the radiation was going to be. You go to a radiologist, an oncologist. I was like overwhelmed beyond belief. And they set me up with, thank God for modern medicine, they're able to focus the radiation. And instead of just like in the past, they would have gone in and surgically removed the tumor and stuff. And I probably would have lost my voice and who knows what else I would have had. That was a byproduct of that surgery. But in today's world, they're able to focus the radiation to such a point, and usually that takes care of the issue. And so that's the path that they put me on. And it was 36 radiation treatments, plus I had, chemotherapy. But there was 2 different types that I had to have. And that took the 4 months. That's why it's actually been almost 5 months since I started that process. And because it was in my throat, it's one of the more exhausting and painful of the radiation treatments because it blisters your inside of your throat where the radiation is. And the outside of your neck gets all blistered like you've been burned. In fact, they give you cream that's used for burn victims to soothe and heal your skin. You can't eat. I was on a liquid diet. That's why I lost over 40 pounds. This is the silver lining. Can you tell if my whole treatment is the fact that I lost 40 pounds?
He looks good. Believe it or not, some people don't look good. Peter looks great.
I would never recommend that as a way to lose weight. That's the silver lining that I had to pull out of it. And really why I'm telling all this on the podcast, besides that we've been off, you wouldn't even know we weren't recording steadily. But it's because I don't think I would have come through this as well as I have. And I still have some I got another month before I get my final scans to see if everything really has been taken care of. But I've been able to maintain a pretty good attitude. And I have, because of being in recovery and all the tools that I've learned in recovery, I've been able to handle this, I believe, in a way that I don't think I would have been able to had I not had that those tools in my tool belt.
I have some questions about that. I wanted to ask what tool, and I don't think our listeners don't know. And I'd like to explain to them something, okay? I went from seeing Peter for a year more than I saw any other person.
Yeah.
It is crazy, whether it was galas, runs, podcasts, just we were so in the community, right?
Yeah.
And then to not see you was like, wow. It was like a breakup, like almost. It was so sad because you were there and then we didn't know. We thought the first 3 weeks you wouldn't get sick and you were sick the first week.
Yeah, that chemo just hit me so hard. And to back up a little bit, when I got diagnosed, the thoughts that go through your head probably go through anybody's head. But one of my immediate thoughts was, okay, this is the end. How am I going to prepare myself for this? Because not knowing, I know people go through, and I've seen stories, people recovering from cancer, but I see a lot of people die from having cancer. My mother died. Yeah. And so not knowing what mine was involving, those were thoughts that went through. And I even put my will together and had some conversations with my husband. And speaking of my husband, God bless him for being there with me. He was with me through my recovery, which most people, I think, would have run out the door. He stuck with me through that. And then here it is, turn around. I have this happen. And here he is having to go through almost the same type of thing. The drugs the chemo and the pain medications and all of the things that you have to take, you're not in your mind. For me, it was very much like when I was going through recovery, when I was the withdrawals and being spaced out. And Justin, he was scared because you were just like you were back in the day, and it scared the heck out of me.
I saw it in his face.
So if I hadn't had this program and been able to use the tools like meditation, keeping me in the day, not ruminating about, am I going to die tomorrow, or is this what's going to happen in my future, and not regretting, why did this happen to me, ruminating about the past. Those things I used very much. Calling people, being able to call my people in my group. I had Roger who came, he actually volunteered at the hospital. And so he was able to come visit me while I was sitting there with the IV, getting my chemo, being able to call Dawn and of course, Julie was always right there, bringing food over, not for me because I couldn't eat, but so that Justin would have his lunches. There's so many blessings that, looking back, I think, wow, how did my life go the way it did? Working for Providence, so I wasn't afraid of where to go and how to get around. Being in the program and having all these wonderful people. I got cards from people in our group. I heard that they prayed for me after meetings or during meetings. I have neighbors who took me in when Justin couldn't take me in. My mom was there for me, making soups and stuff. All of these things, all these blessings that you don't necessarily think about until you go through a live event like this. And how crazy is it that I had all of that? Like back when I was first getting sober, I was like, why did I have to go through this? Why was I born this way? Maybe it was to prepare me for these moments that I went through. You just don't know how life's going to, and I just find it really amazing and in some ways coincidental that these things.
Or is it God? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Whatever it is, the way life has turned. I always wondered, why did I go through this? What's the reasoning for some of the things I've been through in my life? I've always questioned these things.
Really?
And until I got into the program and I started to see there's a reason for everything and everything has a reason. That's a phrase that I learned. And I don't know what it is, but it will be revealed. Thank God I had this program and all of these people to be able to make it through this life-altering, threatening event. So I wanted to bring that up to our audience, because just because you get sober, life
Doesn't
still
mean
goes
it's
on.
gonna be smooth sailing.
Yeah, and you've heard this from others on our show who've told their stories. You've heard it from Julie, the things that she's gone through. And so thank God we have this program and these tools to help us, and the people in our lives, our extended family, appropriately name of our group, to make it through these times. And if things don't, I could have easily said, fuck it, and just gone off the rails. But
what would that have helped?
exactly. And I also had heard from so many, you think of the people that have been on our shows who've been imprisoned, who've had their children taken away, all these life events, and yet they remain sober. So why can't I? And we have people in our group who've been through cancer, losing limbs, all kinds of life-altering events, and they're able to use the program and make it through.
Yeah, I just last weekend, and this person guided me through your journey. Meaning, when I told him you were sick, Fred H. said he'd had that before, prepared me for what you were going through. But this man just lost a foot 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I will tell you. Recovery, for me, worse shit has happened in recovery than when I was using. Even going to prison, I was healthy and I thrived in boot camp. Seriously, like really thrived in boot camp. I mean, I was locked up and lost choices and freedom, but there was a lot of ways I thrived mentally and physically. And I think what I heard you say more than anything when I would talk to you, and I tried so hard not to bug you, but show you I was there. I hope I did a decent job because
of course.
I was scared shitless. And I'm a strong believer in prayer. I don't go around and preach religion at all. But I think prayer is a form of meditation. And for me, I can calm my mind when I pray for others. And I never, ever pray for myself. I'll say, give me the courage, or please help me be a better person. But I don't say, oh, please get me that new car. You know what I'm saying? But it's easy for me to pray for others, believe it or not. And I'm surprised that they say addicts are self-centered and all these other things. But when it comes to prayer, I pray for Portland all the time. But I literally prayed for you every day. Every single day, and every meeting I was in in person, when we'd go to do the circle and they'd say, for the person that still suffers, and I was like, pray for Peter. I was like, oh, he's suffering in a different way. And I have to tell you, to me, I don't think I'd be as classy as you are. I'm being honest. I'm so much more dramatic. We know it. But you have showed so much class. And I think the slogan that you've used to me more than any other slogan during this time is, I just got to take it one day at a time, the program. I can't tell you how many times you said that to me. Yeah. And even when you were feeling the worst and couldn't talk and whatnot. And I don't know, you just said, I'm just going to take it one day at a time. Try to stay with a good attitude. And I wasn't here at the house, except for a couple times, but that's what you showed me. It was grace.
Yeah. That's for that meditation. I talked about it in the past about being the mountain and being present. And I think of Mount Hood and I thought, I can't worry about what's going to happen. I can't worry. I'm still can't worry. I still haven't gotten a final clean bill of health, but I'm not going to let that change.
Ruin today.
Yeah, exactly. And I've also learned through this to accept others' help.
It's hard.
And not just help, like helping me out physically, but like the thoughts and prayers, this goodwill thoughts, to appreciate that. I don't like to be put on the spot. I don't like to be put up on a pedestal. I'm very modest. I just don't care for that. I just want to hide in the background and just do what I do. But I've had to learn that it's not about me. It's about others and others who want to be a part of my life. And so to accept that, to say thank you instead of making excuses.
And I think it's hard sometimes, right?
It's super hard.
When you don't look pretty, like when you don't have it all together, right? To be present and authentic. It's easy to be present and authentic when you got a new car, you're making a 3-figured salary, you got some new clothes or new tennis shoes. What is really hard is to be authentic. And not everybody is an AA. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I think some people are just not even capable. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard. I know for me, not having it all together has been a huge lesson. I know how bougie I am. I took my fingernails off because of the budget for the first time in 20 years. But I just seen such grace from you. And I will tell you, whatever we go through really does make us stronger.
Yeah, I think so.
And,
I hope so.
Oh, it will. I promise. Like, I don't make you promises out my ass. It will. And then the other thing I will tell you, and I have to tell myself this sometimes, this too shall pass. It's some of those dumb slogans that we think are corny, but they're not.
No, they mean a lot. They really do. I just celebrated my 8th year of sobriety. And
he's lying. We're celebrating tomorrow.
It's coming tomorrow because I had my appointments and stuff. And also, I just don't feel 100%. But I'm going to go. I'm not going to chair just because I don't have my voice and my stamina. But I'll be there because it's not just about me. It's about showing
It's
up.
about me. Didn't you know?
Yeah,
I begged Peter, please don't celebrate during the week. Please wait for me. And it's not because it's about me. I was being facetious, but it's because I just wanted to be there with you to celebrate. Because
it's there. It's to show others that no matter what, it's the no matter what club.
You know what? Here's the thing. You have a decent life and sobriety's been good for you. You've had to deal with the job thing, but this is a great test of your sobriety, your meditation, your positive attitude.
Yeah.
And I think you really just earned your membership in the no matter what club. We say that, but then
if I have it, I should have by now.
That's what I'm saying. One thing about Roger, cancer 3 times, Fred, losing a foot, still gracious as hell. Like, they make me just want to be a better person because of, And I know sometimes I can get in the it's all about me club.
It's easy to go down the pity path. And what I found was as I was going through my treatment with the different medication and how the chemo, and I had to take some kind of steroid. And I don't know, I had like 4 or 5 different medications that I was on. And that affected me mentally. It put me in a low mood. And they say that's a side effect, that you could be in a low mood. And so it could have been very easy for me to slip into that. And I did have some pity parties on my own, but I snapped out of it as best I could and as fast as I could. And part of that was just hearing from people in my group, people in my life and my family, telling me how much they cared about me and how much they were thinking about me and sending me well wishes and getting cards and flowers from Chicago and all these things that I'm like, what the heck? I can't believe
You're
it.
loved.
So
Not only are you loved, you're respected. And here's the other thing, Peter. You don't go out of your way to hurt anyone. Okay? You're not a vindictive person. No, you got your justification on the difficulties you suffered through the job, right? Not meddling, keeping your hands out of it. And it happened. So I'm going to tell you, for me, God is very good all the time. And I think that we reap what we sow. I know for me, I was a very bad girl. And no, I reaped what I sowed.
Yeah, and karma is one term that goes around karma. I believe that karma is a thing. No,
It
I
is.
think for every bad action, for every bad action that you might do, it can come back on you.
Agree with you. I also think if you hurt people, like you will get hurt.
You can approach things like one example, having a neighbor and having an issue with a neighbor. And I'm the kind of person that my first instinct is to do something to them or around it, right?
No, mine is to cuss you out. And I understand.
To do something at them, right? But then I took that and I got really pissed, and I'm not going to go through what the issue was, but I got really mad and I'm going to do this and do that. And I calmed myself down. I went back to the mountain in my meditations. And then I just walked over there and I said, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? This has been bothering me and I just wanted to bring it up. I don't want it to escalate into anything. And they were like so gracious about it. And I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And they fixed it. And now we're still good neighbors and we're friendly to each other. And I avoided this whole issue. Whereas sometimes you hear in the news about the feuds between neighbors and how they escalated to these horrible disasters. So sometimes and it would have been, there's a part of me that's like, I just want to go over there. And but if you can just get that pride out of the way, and at least for me, that's worked out very well for me. It's a good rule to follow. Just let it go and be nice. And so I do try to be that way.
So for Julie, a little more of a bitch than Peter. No, what I do is a little different, right? If I don't know what to do, I do nothing. I say nothing. Then I don't have to regret it later. So that's the first thing.
Smart.
And it talks about in the book with pen and tongue. And then I will tell you the second thing I do is I have to analyze it from every direction. I've come to you several times where I'm like, I think about it this way and this way.
Right.
And then somehow intuitively, for real, if I wait, right, the right answer does come to me if I don't react and cuss that person out. And there's a lot of time I have to hold my passionate self back, and it's not easy sometimes, but I always feel better that I do. And if I don't, I would feel worse. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. In my younger days, I wasn't who I am today. And I road rage, being vindictive to people that I felt were that wronged me, whatever. I was very much that person. And maybe that's part of my karma thing, because that's all coming back on me. But yeah, just learning those lessons. And for me, most of them that I practice today, I've learned in recovery.
No, same. Like,
yeah,
I have to tell you, it's the people in recovery that have taught me how to live my life.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is my first sponsor, Fred. Oh my God. And Peter and I just figured out this last couple weeks. Peter and my first sponsor's AA birthday is on the same day.
Oh,
and I think that is so, there's 365 days a year. I'm just saying, two of the most important people that day, the 17th, and then you're on the 17th, I'm on the 17th. And I just want to tell you, I think it's some really cool shit.
Right.
Like, for real. Yes, I'm so excited for your birthday because I know what you've been through this year. That's why I wanted to be there. Yeah, it means a lot to me to celebrate with you.
Yeah, we'll see how I feel tomorrow. I hope that I have enough energy to take it all in and participate. That's the only thing right now is the pain's gone. So that's a bonus. I'm still having a hard time eating solid food, but that's improving. And my taste buds are still all off, which is, they said that could take up to a year for your taste buds to come back. But and the fatigue, I get fatigued very quickly, but that should improve over time as well. And then the nurse that I met with yesterday, she said, "I can't believe you. You're upright. You got a glow." She said, "You're just looking so good." Most people at this same point are not even half where you are today. And all I can say is I think that's my genes, the dowel gene.
I'm going to tell you, just seeing you a couple weeks ago when we were on the patio, right?
Uh-huh.
I thought you looked amazing then, because before when I saw you, you didn't look that great.
Yeah.
And I saw you when you had the blisters on your face. And
Yeah, that was
even though
awful.
you looked tan, every time
It was radiation burns.
But I was like, you were so self-conscious. You're like, I know I'm not. And I'm like, you look tan. And I'm just trying to go along with it and whatnot. But just in this last 2 weeks, you looked frail 2 weeks ago. And now you look like you're getting over the flu. Does that make sense? And I know that poison in your body, I can't even imagine. I really can't imagine.
I can't wait for it to all get out of me, because part of it is reminding me of where I was when I was in the depth of my drinking. You know, those dark days where I would just sit in a chair and vacantly stare at a TV for hour after hour, not able to do anything, not having the will to do anything. And that's how this felt. It's felt off and on. It cycles through. And also, I'm such a doer. I'm not someone just to sit and watch TV, or I always have to be doing something. And to not be able to do things, especially with it being summer and the garden, and I love to garden, and we did get some tomatoes going and stuff, but I couldn't be what I was.
Here's Martha Stewart. Don't let him fool you. At home, he's baking. There's zucchini bread. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's editing. He's running his company. So when he says he's a doer, he is a doer.
But it was really hard to just not have the energy and not be able to do, and just sit in my recliner. And I've never been a napper, never. Even when I was a baby, my mom would put me down for naps and I would not nap. I would get busy, get out of my crib, whatever. And that's been my whole life. And
that's funny. I'm not a napper either.
Now I've been taking naps every day, it seems like, since I've been going through this treatment.
That's your body healing.
Yeah, I get so tired. And I have a company in town from Arizona, and they're staying with us for a couple days. And I've been like, oh my God, not that I can't wait for them to leave. I need a nap so bad. And of course they're visiting, so they want to, let's do this. Let's go out to dinner. Let's do this. Oh, and I can't really eat going out so they went out to dinner while we were able to do this podcast, because I can't taste any of the food. It's not enjoyable for me to go out to eat right now. I can't wait for that to return, because I'm a foodie.
And I can't wait till we can go back to Taco Tuesdays.
Yes.
I can't wait till you can come down and visit me. There's so many amazing places to go to lunch in my new.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about you a little bit, or do you want to do another episode and talk about what's been, because you've had a busy 4 months too.
I don't need a whole episode. I can catch up pretty quickly. I too, like you, use the program every day. Thank God for this foundation.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with diabetes the last 4 months. And on top of the thyroid condition and trigeminal neuralgia, you can get overwhelmed.
Triple threat.
Right. And I don't. I'm usually able to stay in today, because the lesson that I've really learned is I can't change what happened in the past. Dreading it, resenting it, hating it.
Ruminating.
Ruminating.
That word you learned not too long ago.
And the great thing is, I don't do it as much. Like, nice. I would say on a scale of 1 to 100, I do it 95% less.
That's awesome.
And thank God to IOP. Shout out to Cedar Hills Hospital.
Yeah.
And the No Matter What Club you said, like, I'm definitely a member. I think when I had my little breakdown, and I say little, making light of it, it was huge in my life to be 25 years sober and go to IOP. People usually go there for drugs and intensive outpatient, and I didn't, which was good. And I also think I've learned some things. I said that my anxiety was very situational, and it is. Even though I'm in a new environment now and I can get overwhelmed, it's not like when I was at my last employment. Yeah, I know for sure that it was not a healthy situation for me. I probably should have left sooner, but we can flip the worst things that happened to us to a positive. Okay.
Exactly.
And I learned that in IOP too. When I went to prison, I was so ashamed for so many years, so embarrassed. If I didn't go to prison, would I would have gotten the time out I needed and gotten off drugs?
Exactly.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. And it got me away from the people I did not need to be around. When you're in your worst situations, you will know who is your crew, who is your tribe. There will be the people that just are nice to you because they have a podcast and they want to be on it. And then you'll have a loyal mofo like Miss Lindsay who asks about you every time
Yeah.
I see them.
Yeah. Got a
And-
card from him.
This is what I'm saying. Ask me your address, Miss Lacey. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll know who's really there. And I'm going to tell you, when I went to prison, I learned who was there too. And it was a big fat zero because I wasn't hanging out with the right people. And then never expected to be unemployed past my unemployment. And I will tell you, I own some of that. Okay. And what I own is taken for granted that when I wanted a job, it would be like boom, and I'd get a job because I'm so fantastic and this shit. And it wasn't that way. I also wanted to go into a new field, and that didn't happen the way I wanted it to. And then when I did apply to my field, it was a long process to get in. And I will tell you what I have now compared to what I didn't have. I actually feel like I work for the best company in Portland, and I'm not joking. You know, I'm leaving work on Thursday, and they use the floor, the first floor for nonprofits to hold stuff there. And they had a nonprofit to give kids free bikes, right?
Wow.
No, 2 weeks before that, we collected books to give them to the kids that didn't have books. 3 weeks before that, we're raising school supplies for the kids that need school supplies.
Wow. That's awesome.
There's the Rainbow Coalition. There's the Pacific Islanders. There's the Women's Impact Network. More things than I ever thought a company could do. And you know how much that shit means to me, because I was a bad girl, the leader of Bad Girls Club. And I really spent the last 30 years trying to put more good juju in than I put bad. And then I'm lucky.
Yeah.
That bad time was smaller. And I will also tell you that they're ranked one of the most 25 ethical companies in the world. And I see that.
That's awesome.
And diversity is a culture. I see it. Okay. I see it. I didn't see that at my last company. And from day 5, I'm in recovery. What do you do in your spare time? Me and my friend Peter host a podcast. I go to AA. I'm not hiding anything.
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
It's
How
the
free.
most authentic I have ever been. And a shout out to Jennifer Gran. She used to be one of my employees at Sprint, one of my supervisors. She's made this path and this transition. She comes to my desk with a new alloyed mug. Last week,
Oh,
it was
wow.
Cool Towels. And my company colors are Duke blue and white.
Well,
I'm just saying,
hello.
I've waited a whole lifetime to have Duke blue and white. And bless Sprint soul, rest in peace, but yellow and black were not my colors, okay? And when we did have red, black, and white, which I liked for ACS, that went quickly. And then when we finally got to magenta and black for T-Mobile, they shut our site down. So anyway, so when I saw that, I was like, maybe it's meant to be. And I will tell you, this has been hard for me. It's been really hard. It's the hardest job I've ever done. And not being in management automatically is humbling. Being on the other side of it is humbling. Yeah, it's very humbling, I will tell you. But as far as all the things I wanted from a company, like, they're there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, their community awareness is the most community awareness I've seen in my whole life from any company.
Wow.
Yeah.
That says a lot right
It
there.
does. Yeah. I'm still in training. I have a year's probation. I had 3 when I was on parole. So I'm hoping that I can make the 1 year. And if not, then that's something else that's meant to be.
Right.
And maybe there's a different opportunity. But for right now, I'm grateful that I have some pride. Again, some respect. Like when I say their name, I feel good about it. And everyone says, oh my God, what a great company. And my favorite thing is when I have somebody call in that's struggling and I can help them with a grant or I can do something like that. I love it.
I
Like
bet.
I have to hang on to that one for the whole day sometimes. But there was this guy, Michael, in last week, and he has to be about 78. I looked at his count. I forget what year he was born. And on a fixed income, and I was able to help him. And he told me he loved me. And there's the good moments. Not every job is going to be easy all the time. So that's why they're called work and they're not called time off. But yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I think there'll be more opportunities in the future, especially with the podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back on the podcasting trail or whatever you want to call it. But
We're thriving on LinkedIn. We have as many followers in LinkedIn in 3 months
wow.
that we do on Instagram. People reach out all the time to me. I'm going to tell you, it's amazing. We made some new friends that I can't wait to have on the show.
That would be awesome.
No, some really good friends. If you thought we had good friends before, we've gained a crew of exceptional people that work in the field and have incredible stories to share. I can't wait.
I'm excited to do more, hear more stories, but also to do some of the community events like we did last year. I hope that we're able to participate. I hope I'm well enough and have the energy to participate like we did last year. Because last year we did some incredible events.
Well, I'm going to that month is a few months away,
Right.
recovery month. And I'm hoping so too, because I want to be at Pioneer Courthouse Square for the recovery walk.
Yeah.
And I want to show up at Fernhill Park.
I miss my people.
Yes. Your people miss you.
I miss Bo and I miss everybody. I don't want to single
Let
out
me fill
one
you in
person.
a little bit about Bo. Okay. Last week, Oregon Recovers held the summit. I was so sad. I was in training. I had people reach out, why aren't you here? And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that they got 4 bills passed
Oh, wow.
from Advocacy Day. And Bo got the Peer of the Year.
That's why it was on my mind because I read that.
Yeah, he is thriving. Oregon Recovers is just doing amazing, where Mike Marshall's doing amazing with the Alcohol Commission. And then Tony, when we did our piece on Tony V from 4D, who introduced us to Skylar, who introduced me to the CRM program, Tony has had the year of a lifetime. And starting a treatment center from 4D,
That's awesome.
I'm just saying, buying a $5-something million property to now have a recovery complex for family and address issues from 18, to
That's
35.
amazing.
Like the shit he has done this year. And like he said, he just posted the other day, he was homeless and at Volunteers of America. Okay. And look at all the stuff he's done. And our friend Izzy's getting ready to have the 2nd annual run that we were at last year.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him. And I just see people just doing great things. And the people that have been on our show, like 1 year later,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God.
We talked about doing that. Where are they now?
Where are they now?
should-
Because it's amazing. And Amanda, who's reached out about you as well, opening the new center in Grants Pass.
Yeah.
Like,
We need to make a road trip down there.
we do. I told her that. I was like, we need you to come on and talk about this place now.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
For those of you who don't know, Grants Pass doesn't have a lot of recovery places. And so Amanda from True Colors bringing one there is amazing. And our friend Jared from Painted Horse
Painted Horse,
Recovery.
yeah.
This man is a mover and a shaker as well, opening up, I think it's 3 new centers.
Wow.
I'm just telling you, some of the people, all the people we have had on this show.
And this is all despite the adversity of our administration getting a lot of grants cut and pulled and money pulled out of the state. And they're still thriving because recovery is that important, right?
It is. And Colette, our board member, now sober almost 3 years, right? Another Chance has had that they just celebrated her recovery meeting for the newcomers a year. Right?
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm just telling you now, she runs the alumni meeting. When we were there for Skylar's concert, just holy shit.
Yeah.
And Skylar has a concert tonight on the Road to Recovery tour.
That's so cool.
Look, my man.
Yeah.
You
right?
know, I love that guy. His positivity is infectious.
It is. Yeah. All these people thriving that we got to hear where they came from and what they overcame.
And I think that when we look
It's
back
so
on,
cool.
I hope, my wish, my prayer is that when you and I sit here in a year, we will be in a better place. The podcast
Yeah.
will be in a better place financially. And I don't say that because money doesn't rule my world and we don't get any money from the podcast, but just I don't think people understand how much we've put into it. And it has cost us a lot of personal money. And I'm hoping that it's self-supporting.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And while we share the message, does that make sense?
Totally.
And I think that we're going to get there this year.
Yeah, if we get enough financial support, we'll be able to do more things. Like I've always wanted to do some roundtables about like, what do you do when the holidays come? How do you get through the holidays? Because that's a hard time for so many people. Different and like where are they now? That'd be awesome to do a series on that.
And I have a little gift I think that we're going to be able to do. My vision, you're a genius, okay? But people don't know our podcast is 32nd in Australia, right? And a lot of it is from this one guy. He goes to extended family from Australia. And I've gotten his permission to do a Zoom interview that we could publish visually on YouTube. And we haven't done that yet. And I'm really hoping that people can see our podcast when we do his.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, adding the video component is something that takes more time and more resources. And so until we get some steady income for the podcast, it's just something it's not feasible for me to produce at this point. But
no.
But that would be awesome.
My vision is with my big mouth and your smart that hopefully that we get to that point. That's what I'm hoping for in a year. And I'm hoping that this career I'm in gets a little bit easier. I'm hoping that I graduate to the 3 days to work from home. I don't like the commute an hour each way every day.
Yeah, that's rough. That's
I will
really
tell you,
rough.
I was a little pissy about it the first 4 weeks. I found my route and I park on the 6th floor of the garage so that I can get the same space every day. So I don't lose my fucking car. You know, I got my little card that pays for parking. The first 2 weeks I was worried about the money. So that's where I'm at. But I will tell you the one thing I know, there's a couple things I know for sure. I do have the greatest family and I'm an only child. Okay. When I get up and I go to the rooftop every morning to pray, which is what I do at work, and I've shared the views with you.
Yeah.
When I look at the mountain, I think the view on it instantly. I do. And it's
Mountain's my thing.
and I have a view of it, of Mount St. Helens and Mount Hood. It's a view that people would pay millions of dollars for. It's that good. But when I pray, I know that I have one of the best foundations in this whole world because of the shit I've made it through. And I haven't struggled with the fact of, am I going to go out and use?
Exactly.
It's not an option.
Yeah.
This too shall pass. I'll
Yeah.
make it through it one day at a time. And I think I wish the rest of the world had some of these tools.
Yeah,
And-
don't you?
Yeah, I do. And I wish they wouldn't spread negativity online, because I wish they would spread good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we do. And hopefully you guys all are enjoying the podcasts up to this point, and we'll continue to check back in and listen every week. We have no means of stopping. If I can continue to produce shows through what I've been through, then there's no reason we can't continue to produce shows.
Shout out to Peter,
Every
who made
week.
sure everything got done while he was sick. And future insight, I'm really excited. We're going to have Andrea on the show. And I think she has a really powerful story to tell. And it's not about going to prison. And it's not about losing your house. And it's not about any of those things. I think her story is about keep coming back. It works and you're worth it. And then we're going to have Alex G on the show. And I've watched Alex G's story since 90 Days Sober.
Wow.
Yeah, we had Kim Good, but Alex G is the only employee that went. Kim Good didn't go to my home group. And I was very concerned about work and AA being in the same environment. And it has a good, happy fucking ending. So it's amazing.
That's awesome. Look forward to that coming up in a couple weeks.
Anything you want to say to people?
Gosh, I'm getting tired, so I don't have much more to say. But I do want to, if I could say anything at this point, and I'm probably going to be saying it tomorrow, just how much I appreciate the support and the people in my life, from my extended family in the group, my friends, my immediate family, my wonderful husband, and all of the caregivers who helped me through my treatment, the doctors, the nurses. They've all been fantastic. Shout out to Providence Friends Cancer Center. I've been so blessed to be able to have that as a resource. And that's that. There you have it.
Well, my shout out will be to you. I'm just really glad you're back.
Yeah.
And I don't want to cry, but I really am. I really missed you. And I always knew, but you don't really know sometimes when you're in it until it's taken from you, how valuable something is. And I think IOP was good, but I think the podcast and you have really helped me process some stuff that I'm not sad about anymore, that I don't ruminate about, that it's the past that I can't change.
Right.
To stay in today and hope the best for the future, though I cannot control it. I can just do the footwork.
Exactly.
I have to tell you, it's taken me a lot of years to get there. A lot of years. I've been sober a long time, but I wasn't there. So I'm grateful. And I'm glad you're back.
I'm grateful to have you in my life. I don't know if I say
Same.
that enough, but
Your presence is enough for me. And I'm so thrilled, even if you're there for 5 minutes, that I get to celebrate with you tomorrow.
it'll be a good day.
I'm not getting you a cake because
I
you can't eat it.
it.
That's why I'm not getting it. That's exactly why. So,
Yeah, I wish. I can't wait till I can have more food. But of course, it's going to be nice to remain a little bit slimmer here.
I will
a little
tell
more
you
healthier.
one thing, though. When you can eat good food, we're going to have to go get a chocolate, peanut butter, pie spot pie. They're little. So
Yeah.
even if we have to share it in half, right?
Yeah, those are
When
so
you can
good.
taste it, we'll go. Okay.
Sounds like a plan. I'm all in.
Okay, this is Julie from the Real Recovery Podcast.
This is Peter. Thanks for listening.
And stay tuned.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks to each and every one of you for lending us your ears and hearts. Your engagement is what fuels our passion and keeps this podcast thriving.
We cherish the moments we share here and hope they resonate with you, whether you're on a daily commute, at the gym, or just taking a moment for yourself.
Make sure to head over to our website, at realrecoverypodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter for the latest insights and uplifting stories from our community delivered straight to your inbox.
Click that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player too, so you can keep up with every new episode. It's your support that keeps our conversation alive and meaningful.
And if our stories have touched you, consider using the donate button on our site. Your contributions, no matter the size, are deeply appreciated. They help us continue our mission of sharing hope and healing.
Join us beyond the podcast and follow our journey on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. All the links are on our site, so you can stay connected and be a part of the Real Recovery community every day.
Your likes, shares, and comments not only spread the message of recovery, but also remind us that we're all in this together.
So, until we meet again, remember that recovery is a journey, not a destination, and we'll be here to accompany you every step of the way to recovery, real recovery.
Thanks for listening.